Eventually, you get a well-deserved night's rest. As they say, a good night's sleep and time passing by is the best healer.
First thing in the morning, I will visit Dune and see if she's taken care of.
June is very well taken care of. She's fed, groomed, but you get a feeling that what she might be missing is a good ride.
If I can see that, if I can feel that, then I'll definitely take her for a ride. I will not go off-road. I will follow the beaten path as to not invite any trouble.
Since you don't know what lies ahead and you are not in for surprises, you take the road back towards Rockane. The whole process of you riding on her back makes you feel better. The tension and the stress this previous day has caused is relieved while you do that. So you return back to the inn.
I'll thank her as I dismount and see if there's any treats around. I'll feed her myself and I'll try to bond with her if that's possible.
Give me a wilderness survival check, since it's the default handle animal role. You can also try Chevalier, because it's an empathetic skill.
I'll spend 2 luck points. And it's 7, so 17 in total.
You speak softly to Dune. You tell her that she's very important to you. You thank her for her valuable presence during the fight. Miraculously, she seems to understand. She seems to know what you need. She neighs gently, pushes you back with her head in a very characteristic way. She shows that she will be there for you.
With an improved mood, I will walk towards the inn.
Arpad will just go down to the main room, order some breakfast.
Fristos brushes his teeth so that he is fresh and cleaned and heads towards the main room.
Arpad is there waiting for his breakfast when Fristos joins him.
Arpad just gives like a sideways looks, and then just like fixes his gaze on the kitchen, crossing his arm.
Fristos grumpily says morning and just sits across the table as far from Arpad as possible.
Matos will soon join you. He places 2 bowls of porridge onto the table, along with a jug of fresh water and cups, looks at both of you, kind of hesitantly moves back and says, if there's anything more you'd like, please tell me so.
I'm fine, thank you very much, Matos. Just take the food.
Thank you very much for the breakfast.
I don't want to be misunderstood, but since you never came for dinner, we decided to eat it ourselves, if that's okay with you.
I haven't seen that bear at all, so that's fine with me. I'm perfectly content with the porridge.
Arpad looks horrified, astonished, stammers. You did what?
Well, you never came down to...
Well, you could have just come and knocked.
I thought that you wouldn't want to be disturbed. It seemed like you had an argument.
Well, you fought wrong. Are there any bits left?
I fed it to the dogs.
Arpad just looks absolutely petrified. He just leans back, arms on the side.
But my lord, what was I supposed to do? I waited for you. It was getting colder and colder, and I don't say it was delicious. We had a glorious dinner, but was I to throw it away? It would be such a waste.
As cold as possible, Arpad just looks at him and said, "Go away."
This is the moment when Nicolas enters the room.
Since my mood is improved, I'll go, good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Matos.
Arpad just sits there astonished, doesn't respond.
Welcome, young knight. How are your wounds?
I can hardly feel that I was ever in a fight with a bear. This is a testament to your skill.
That's splendid to hear, but I will still like to ask you to eat your breakfast full so that you regain your strength fully.
Has Matos left?
No, he's actually standing there, thunderstruck by Arpad's cruelty.
Well, you heard the good doctor.
My lord, I'll bring some porridge for you. Would you also like some warm goat milk? Or you gentlemen, would you like some goat milk as well?
Of course, hot goat's milk is the best way to begin the morning.
He's hesitantly moving towards the dwarf, has his hand mid-air like trying to touch your back, as an innkeeper would do to show some intimacy, if you will. And he leans over you and says, "How about you, Mr. Arpad? Would you fancy some goat milk?"
I slowly turn towards Matos and just say, I would have fancied some bear meat.
I thought we were discussing breakfast.
I just stare.
Truthfully, the dwarves must have an appetite and a half if they used to begin their day with such a way.
He ate the bear meat.
Oh, he did. That's unfortunate. I look nervously.
What was I supposed to do? You never showed up.
That was not a small portion of bear meat. Matos, did you sell some of it to other customers?
Whom? Nobody comes here anymore. I told you so.
He gave it to his dog.
I gave what was left to the dog.
I bury my face in my hands.
Fristos looks agitated, as if he suddenly had a brilliant idea, and exclaims, "I know! He fed his dog with the bear meat. We can just eat the dog."
A horrified expression takes over my face. Well, I don't know about that.
I look up, holding my hands before my face, just looking at Fristos with just a look of just sheer horror.
What, gentlemen? None of you have ever eaten a dog?
I have a better idea. Or perhaps I hope I do. Dear Matos.
As you say that, he was already turning away from you and stops in his tracks, lowers his arms, and turns his head over his shoulder and looks at you. "Yes, my lord?"
The bear meat was special. We had to put our lives in danger, and my friend and I nod towards Arpad, was pretty enthusiastic about getting to eat some of our kill's meat. So I think that it is only fair, in order to get even, you could maybe prepare for him a special dinner for tonight.
I'll go with persuasion.
It's 21 with my luck point.
He rolled a 4, so he got an 11. Great idea, my lord. I will do as you say. Tonight's dinner would be a special treat. Is that okay with you?
Keep looking at him, a horrified expression. I just said, yes.
It only takes a moment for him to return with a tray that holds 2 bowls of porridge. He presses one towards you, Nicolas, and gives a second to Arpad, then leaves 3 cups of warm goat milk, bows his head, and leaves to go to the kitchen.
Oh, but just eat slowly, still getting over the loss of the bear meat.
This will not do. Ignoring last night, I mean.
My eyes shoot up. Well, what do you have to say then, Nicola?
Your concern and fear is not unfounded, but I believe Fristos' right to privacy is also justified. So we should discuss and see if there's a way for us to proceed.
I think privacy is indeed very important, but even more important is listening to a doctor's advice. I'm not angry anymore, but perhaps this whole affair wouldn't even begin if you have listened to me and didn't leave the room when I asked you to stay so that I could treat your wounds.
Perhaps I am to blame then.
Arpad slams his hand on the table. This affair wouldn't have happened if you would have told me that you were cursed. How long have you known me and you have not told me that you were cursed? I thought we were supposed to be friends.
Fristos touches his long nose. It's a gesture he often makes when he thinks, and responds, You have a point. It seems I indeed haven't mentioned anything about my cars before yesterday. I do apologize for that.
You realize you could have put all of us at risk.
It can be a coincidence that both of us have traveled with Fristos for quite some time, and he's never put us in any danger whatsoever.
That may be, Nicola, but we don't know what kind of curse he has. It could affect us in all different kinds of ways that we don't know yet. And we could have gone to the bottom of it if you discussed it last night.
That was not a discussion. That was an interrogation.
In the meantime, could I have each of you roll for awareness, please?
It's a 16 for me.
Roll once more, Smicky. Fumble Fest continuing. Arpad has a 20 and Fristos has an 8.
So, what exactly would you want to know about my curse?
I don't know what we should ask. That was what the Witcher was there for.
Indeed, I have heard that witchers are experts in magic and curses.
As Fristos raises his spoon to keep on eating his porridge, the two of you watch Gulue trying to take some tiny steps around the table as silent as possible, but since she's still a very young child, her movement is a bit awkward, so she's easily detectable by the both of you. Fristos, on the other hand, was too focused to oppose Arpad's words to understand that Gulue is now standing right behind him.
Little one.
Hello, teacher!
Hello, student.
Fristos hops on his chair. He is surprised. He didn't know someone was behind him, and it scares him a bit.
Your spoon falls on the ground and you kind of lose a balance of your bowl. I might have heard some things you said. I didn't want to, but you talked loudly. Mr. Dwarf has a very deep voice. It's hard not to listen to him.
And I'm still waiting for your homework.
I had the letter ready, but I didn't see you last night. I can show it to you now.
Before showing me your homework, I have a new assignment for you.
What do I have to do?
You will have to write 20 times, I will not catwalk in the presence of honorable people, nor will I eavesdrop on them.
Teacher, I don't know how to write honorable and eaves. What you said.
Of course, I will write it down for you, and you will copy it 20 times.
Does this mean that I really don't have to do it, or is it just to learn how to write them? And she raises her shoulders.
I think that we will catch two birds with one stone.
Do you know who can do that?
Catch birds?
With one stone. Yes, Rudgar. He's excellent with a sling.
Is young Rudgar sick as well?
He is.
Gulue, tell me something. Have all the kids in Jealousy been playing together?
It's what we used to do before lunchtime and in the afternoon.
And you were present in all your games?
Teacher, you have to understand that we are 5 children all in all. We play together, all of us. But I can tell you something that might help Mr. Doctor here.
Anything?
Rudger was the third child to go sick. Jules was the first, and then Bula. She's a girl, older than me. Then Rudger. And Meya. She's half my age, you know.
Did anything weird or bad happen the last time you played together?
Teacher, they didn't fall sick at the same time. If it was really my fault...
No, little one. It's not your fault. Try to remember.
Not the last time we played together, no. Something happened the day before Jules got sick. It was late in the afternoon. All the men of the village came to the inn, and they started shouting. My father got out, and they started talking. I was still inside. I didn't listen to what they said. When I finally got out, I heard my father shouting, yelling, "If they don't want to eat our food, may the gods curse their own food." I've never seen my father so upset.
Your father's a good man. Forget about it. I don't want to remind you of bad times, but any kind of information will help, my friend. Okay, bring me your homework and forget about the other assignment.
Is there anything you want to say among yourselves while she's gone?
It's not something the children did. Matos may be right. He might be the source of all of this.
Arpad nods. If he did utter a curse, could it be possible that that is what has afflicted all these people?
Fristos just continues to eat the porridge, assuming there is anything left in the bowl. So as he finishes, he leaves it on the table and says to his friends, Guru told me that the hunter's son needs my expertise. Would you like to accompany me if you have eaten your portions?
I can certainly do that.
Since of us three here, I'm the only one that has met Klopp. I see no other choice but to accompany you.
Arpad, who knows the way, guides you. After all, it's just a stroll.
As we arrive at Klopp's house, I turn to Fristos and Nicola and I say, just hang back for a little bit. He is a bit weary of people who stay in Matos's inn. I'll go first and I'll explain to him. Is there still salt around the house?
Indeed there is.
I approach the door and I once again give it my trademark, a few good knocks.
As you knock on the door, as previously, it opens just a little. Klopp's half face, looking out. Oh, it's you. The Witcher is not with you.
No, you're right, Klopp. Right now the Witcher isn't with me. But I have brought my other companions. A knight, Nicola Dula, and the doctor, the gnome Fristos. Then I gesture towards the gnome.
Welcome. I can indeed do my best to look at your son and check what his condition is.
He opens the door with such force, such enthusiasm, grabs you by the shoulders and says, Doctor, you don't know what this means to me and my family. Yes, step inside, please. You two, come inside. Do us the honor. Oniet! He claps his hands. Move it, woman. The doctor is here.
What does his little cottage there look like on the inside?
It's very dark inside. One or two candles, a table in the middle of the room, and then a small bed at the corner. There is a door leading to another room. There's also a hearth with a pot over it. What you see is that the boy is lying on the bed, but he's way too much covered with blankets for this time of the year. It might get chilly during the night, but they have him overly covered.
He first looks at the boy, then looks at Klopp and asks, does he have a cold?
He has the fever, almost 2 weeks now. At nights he shakes like a fish, and he has no appetite at all. He just drinks water and maybe grabs a bite of bread. Nothing more, and we've tried anything. My wife, God's bless her, she's an excellent cook.
As he says, he's an excellent cook. I look up at his side. How was the bear meat?
We haven't cooked it yet. We were waiting on the doctor and said that if Rutger gets better, it would be our first lunch together as a family.
That would be a very good lunch.
I guess I roll to determine how much can I understand about his condition, to check on him and so on.
You can go with healing hands for that. So the first thing you notice is that the boy is malnourished. You can see black circles under his eyes. Fortunately, he's not dehydrated. You examine him closely, turn his head gently around to see under his eyes, to see inside his nose and his ears. You use your sound amplifier under his shirt to listen to his heart. And all things considered, the boy seems to be in good health.
Victor stands up and looks in direction of the boy's parents. Can you remind me, when was the last time the boy has eaten?
Aniet comes a bit closer and, in a very soft and broken voice, says, My Rutger hasn't eaten something for 2 weeks now.
Why didn't he eat? Did he refuse to eat even his most favorite dishes?
I've tried anything. It just doesn't go down. Whenever he sees a spoonful of food, he starts screaming, and it's as if some demon gets inside him.
Fristos doesn't say that, but he has a very evil idea about force-feeding the child.
Would you like to roll for deduction? Solid 19. His mother is terrified. They look like people who tried their best. So whatever thoughts you begin to formulate, you should take into account the parent's reaction.
He walks a couple steps towards the parents and away from the child so that Hrothgar doesn't hear him, and asks, I have one more question. Did you try to feed him by force? And if yes, how did you try it?
Aniette now raises her head. She's not looking at the ground anymore. Her big hazel eyes look at you. Although she's a nice looking woman with long red hair, she now takes an expression that makes her look quite rough. Oh, we tried, Doctor. Believe me, we did. You don't know what a mother would do if her child is in danger. The boy just pushed and kicked and started shaking, screaming. It's as if some demon was inside him. This was not my Rudgar. Klopp comes and embraces her, starts caressing her hair and says, "It's all right, my dear. It's all right. The doctor doesn't know. That's why he's asking."
Does Rutger drink anything apart from water?
I tried giving him some milk. He had a little. Just a little.
You didn't manage to give him any soup,
I tried, but he didn't.
so just milk and water. Do you have carrots in your garden?
Klopp looks at you in a strange way and says, "Aye, we do. What do you want with them?"
I'm thinking we could try prepare a carrot juice.
If you think that's best, Doctor, I'll help you with it, yes.
Mix it with water and see at which point the juice is so dense Rutger doesn't want to drink it.
Perhaps you might try to speak to other people of the village as well.
Do you have anyone specific in mind, Klopp?
Everybody knows that Jules was the first to go down. And then there are two more girls that are sick.
They all refuse to eat?
Would these children be in any condition to be moved?
Moved where?
Maybe it would benefit the doctor if he had all the patients in one location.
Do what you must. Of course, Doctor. We will follow your orders. We'll do as you say.
Thank you. In the meantime, you can try giving the boy some carrot juice, but not by force.
Aniette moves her head accordingly. Yes, Doctor. I'll do as you say. I'll get to it immediately. And she moves over towards the pot.
So the plan is that Fristos will check on the other children so that we can put them in a medic's tent, so to say. Right?
Yeah, he could check up on them and then raise his tent in the middle of the village and ask for the kids to be stationed there so that he can keep an eye on them.
No, as the resident expert tent builder, just thinking back to that first session.
While this conversation between Fristos and the parents occurs, the words of Gulue come in your mind, who said that the rest of the villagers, with their wives, came over to the inn and caused some trouble there, that forced Matos to get out and confront them.
Mato had told us that they had all come to the inn and that he cursed them.
Where is Klopp right now?
Klopp is standing next to Fristos as Aniette is moving towards the pot.
It came to my attention that your small village is experiencing a domestic problem with one of Jealousy's important residents. And I would see this matter resolved, if I can. As you can see, I am a knight, and I have a responsibility that goes beyond solving mysteries. This is not my expertise, nor is it to heal others. But disagreements over our subjects is a noble job, among others. Protecting and also assuming a judicial role.
Important. You're talking about the innkeep, right?
Yes, I think that he plays an important part in your community, just as you do the same. May we step outside, talk for a bit?
I have nothing to hide from my wife.
My good man, it seems that you do not understand me. This is not a chit-chat. This is no gossip.
Aniette, while stirring the pot, says, "Yes, we need each other if we are to survive. What we don't need is for some men, the important men of the village, looking at other people's wives."
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is that our dear old Matos should keep to his wife.
We might return to that later. And I turn to Klopp. Perhaps you've heard of me. I'm Nicolas of the Lake. I have been called by others to help them in times of need. I truly believe this is one of those times.
He rolled a 2. If I remember correctly, with your notoriety, you have a reputation score of 8.
Yes.
I've heard your name. I don't know who told me about you, but it's not unfamiliar. What my wife says is true. Matos is a man who wants everything for himself. Our money, and then our wives. Who does he think he is?
Be straight, man. What are you accusing him of?
I have the right, with your village's agreement, to pass judgment. You have an opportunity to see this matter resolved in an official way.
Klopp, as clearly proven by me bringing the doctor here, and earlier with the bear. We are here to help, but we can only help if you give us all the information that we need. If you're going to be stumbling about without proper information, and you can't expect us to adequately assist your village in its troubles.
Can I roll persuasion?
Roll for persuasion, to which you get a bonus of 2 because of Arpad's intervention.
Do I get the +3 from my reputation?
Naturally.
That's a good roll.
That's a very good roll. So you get a 35. He crosses his arms over his chest. I did not intend to sound mystical or secretive. I am just frustrated. Since the bird took its lair to the forest, less and less travelers came through the village. So yes, I can understand that this was hard for his business. But having the nerve to ask of us, his neighbors, his longtime friends, to go and pay for his food at the inn, that's fucked up. That's nonsense. And then, learning that he looks at our wives as well, where does his greed stop? My wife has seen how he looks at Brigge, Wolf's wife.
Has he behaved dishonorably?
And yet, he stops stirring the pot for a moment and looks at you and says, "You can ask his sister, Becca."
We haven't met her at the inn.
Yes, you wouldn't have. Her husband, Sillard, is not very fond of Matos. Also, Wolf, Brigge's husband, is a logger. He's a close friend to Vrachen, who is Brigge's brother. So, as you can understand, nobody is really fond of Matos.
But have you yourself witnessed Matos acting dishonorably towards this lady?
A woman knows of such things. Trust me, she's very happy with Wolf.
Has he ever laid a finger?
If he had, Wolf, being a logger, would have chopped that finger off.
What was the specific event that ignited the whole village's anger and made you people move against him?
Well, you see, when word reached the other husbands, they all said that this is enough.
Any prior disagreement against Matos? Any disagreement that Matos might have had with his sister's husband or anyone else in the village?
I would have you roll persuasion for that.
Okay, it's a 10, a 7, plus 15.
So it's 42. She got a 1, and then an 8. She's left with 1. To tell you the truth, Sillard, who is his sister's husband, never liked him at all. I don't know why, but I've seen how he looks at him, and I've heard him talking about him.
Thank you for your help and your time, my good people. I will try my best to see if justice can be met. Assuming there is a crime, of course.
Lop steps in and says, "We consider ourselves honorable, and looking at other people's wives is equal to a crime. So when we found out, everybody rose up against him and went to the inn to ask for explanations."
And is this when he proceeded to then curse, as it were, your food?
Yes, but not exactly. Shit fell when Vrachen punched Matos in the face. It was then Matos started saying all these things about his food and our food and...
Did Matos defend himself before you when you accused him of going after your wives?
He called us crazy.
But Vrachen wouldn't listen.
Vrachen was furious. His sister's honor was hurt. But can this be true? Can everybody else be crazy? And one man have it right?
Numbers only matter when people are witnesses. Opinions do not gain any benefit or merit by being shared by many.
Well, if you're asking if Matos has a gun under Brige's dress, then there's no witness to that. Sometimes you don't need to have witnesses.
I cross my arms and I say, if he has gone under the dress, we can make him confess.
Yeah, good luck with that. He's too stubborn to confess anything.
Tell me, did you talk to his wife about this?
As Aniet is pouring some juice in a mug, she says, "Not really. I wouldn't like to be in her place, you know?
But Matos seems really fond of his wife.
You're outsiders. What would he say to you?"
You're correct, my lady. We are outsiders, and maybe we're the only ones impartial to all of this. Just remember one thing. Matos was the one to call for help and pay with his own good money for a messenger to bring help.
He did? How do you know that? And before you answer, Aniet comments, "Well, of course he did. He was the one to blame, after all. We don't say that he's totally insensitive, but he did curse everybody."
His actions lead us to the conclusion that he really didn't want to harm you.
Well, you say that, and it's natural. You don't know him like we do. You're not cursed, either. He probably felt guilty. That's why he did it.
If he is so fond of money, if he's such a blackheart, he wouldn't have done it. But we'll see.
Klopp opens the door and says, "I guess we'll wait for you to return. If I'm able, I will help you with anything you require."
We will remember, good sir. Fristos turns and makes a slight bow.
Klopp, would it be possible for you to accompany Fristos as he goes around to check on the other children? It might aid him to be granted access to the children if the villagers see someone that's known to them.
Very good idea, sir. Let me lead you to Vrachen's house first.
Very well. In the meantime, I will gather the necessary items to build a tent.
My friend, we will use my tent, the big one.
I look at Fristos. I am aware we will use your tent, but I will set it up. Now tell me first, is that thing near the tent?
Oh, actually, maybe I will deal with the back and you will help me after I unpack.
I put up my hand to Fristos. I say, "No, you are going to check on the children." I turn towards Nicolas. I say, "Can you assist me in dealing with that?"
But are you sure you want to go without me?
I think we'll be fine.
You might be fun, but I'm worried about Zbigniew.
No, there's no reason to worry. You'll deal with it.
What do you mean by deal with it?
We'll make sure the snake is unharmed.
I kick Nicolas in the stomach with my elbow. What snake?
Every NPC in this campaign will listen.
These people are villagers. They live in the mud. They've seen snakes. I won't say that, but I'm nervously looking at Arpad and I rattle my teeth.
I assume Fristos doesn't know any potion to erase Knop's memory, apart maybe from vodka.
I look back at Fristos and say, "You go now. We will get the tent."
Have we left Klopp's house?
Yeah, but he's with you.
Okay.
I don't know if I can pretend that he did. It's okay. We can make it work. When Arpad kicks Nicolas, Klopp turns around and says, "I don't know what you're talking about, but there shouldn't be any snakes inside the tent."
Oh, don't worry, Klopp. It's just the knight likes to play jokes sometimes. It's fine, really. There'll be no snake. There's no snake in a tent or anything.
Now you have to do that. Okay. Roll for deception.
Oh, God, no.
You're lying to him.
This should be a good roll. I feel it.
Ooh, 23. He got a meager 16, so he buys it and says, "I always thought that knights, they are quite serious."
Well, to every rule, there's an exception, isn't there?
So, yes, A big jogger I am. And I, look nervously to Fristos and Arpad as I say that.
Oh yes, we all like to make jokes.
You're all going to have to roll deception now. I cleared it, damn it.
Should I roll deception?
He believes me. We're good.
Yeah, go.
Oh, good job. I swear, if you fuck it up, I swear to God.
Use my 3 points of luck.
Come on, fumble. 1, 10, 10. Bonus gets thrown out of the window. Oh,
That's the third critical in a row for me.
that's a 33.
He has convinced Klopp he's the funniest man in the world.
Right. As long as I live, I'll learn new things, and that's one thing I never thought was true. But the doctor is right. Everyone likes a good joke from time to time. If you don't mind...
Yep, we don't mind. Let's go, Nicola.
Right. As we leave, I'll just say to Arpad, you should stop mentioning that damn snake if you want me to remember that I should not be talking about it.
I wasn't the one that said the word snake, damn it. If I recall correctly, me and No had it perfectly under control until you opened your bloody mouth.
If you ever allude to the existence of that snake in front of these villagers again, I will be the one kicking you.
We will see about that.